I mean traveling.
Oh my God.
I mean traveling only 10 minutes
Okay. No problem. Huh? So you hear only. Huh? You can listen.
Yes,
You can listen the thing. Okay. Yeah. So urban planning devices, population and demographic projections. Things depends upon the population. So many things depends upon the population. Can you imagine? As we discussed in the last lecture also, that the population of the town is very small. So it is sufficient. One small school, one hospital is enough. But for the Indore like city, the population is very high. So in this case, it requires the number of schools and number of police station or number of hospital like this. So the one of the device is the population. By looking to the studying the population, we can decide the things we require to develop in that particular area. So many things depends upon the population. Small village require the less number of facilities. As I told you, the one school, one police station, one hospital is enough. Even for one overhead tank is sufficient. But in looking to the demographic projection, like Indore, Bombay, there needs more number of these things. Okay. Then the second point is the forecasting and analyzing the future needs. Forecasting and analyzing the future need. It relates to the need of the population and all the living things about their future need and growth of amenities and various facilities. It requires growth. It requires the growth. If there is a need, sometimes the BRTS is needed in the Indore, or airport is needed in some big city. So the forecasting, and also the forecasting must be proper, because if you open the airport in the Ujjain like city, it will not worth, it will not do. So you should look the feasibility also by looking the forecast analysis, doing the forecast analysis of anything, because so many things people are asked for this facility. Train we want to stop here, we want this train, we want this airport, this flight, this BRTS something. But we have to look the future and analyze the thing, and then we can decide the we should sanction the things or nice. Then noise modeling. It must acquire to plan in every area, like residential area, commercial area, hospital area, school areas. In the previous days, there is a board near the hospital only, don't blow the horn like this. But nowadays the noise pollution is very much in everywhere, because the number of vehicles are and other also, then your DJ and all these things and clubs and so many things are there. So it is disturbing the people life. So we have to see the noise modeling, do the noise modeling also. Understood? Develop in that area, because the noise pollution is very harmful for the mental health of each and every person. Shruti, what you want to say, anything?
सर इसमें जो पॉइंट्स आप नोट करवाए इसमें रोल डेटा नहीं करना है,
इसमें
लिखना नहीं है,
नहीं लिखने हैं ना, लिखने हैं. Otherwise I will give you the notes, or you can start writing, but you are only you have the copy pen?
Yes sir.
So you can write. Now from the next point you can write air quality modeling. Air quality modeling, it is a mathematical calculation of how air pollutants disperse. It is a mathematical calculation of how air pollutants disperse and react in the atmosphere to affect the surrounding air quality. To affect the surrounding air quality. Like pollution due to vehicles, air conditioners, disposal of the smokes from the chimney and also from the vehicles nowadays. One biggest pollution is due to the construction. The cement and the sand particles. Also the construction of the road, also tar road, it gives the pollution. Then burning of the farali by the farmers, it is a very big nuisance. Like in the Punjab and Delhi, we already saw that they are very disturbed last year or something. They try to reduce it by giving the vehicle odd and even number vehicles, allow the even number one day and odd number one day, like this. But and also the government is now giving the purchasing this parali. So they are try to stop the burning of the parali. So these are the things we should see in what are the problems in the society, and being a officer of town planning or something, this is the subject of town planning. You will also maybe some of the one you can go to this department and become the officer. So you should think and you should learn this thing and take the decision accordingly. In the cases of the global warming, climate changes, there is a smog. Then health problem like respiration problem, as we already faced in the COVID. It was due to some pollution, respiration problem. It is one of the COVID one. Then also the new germs are coming. Then deterioration in the building material. Deterioration in the building material also creates make the air quality. So we should do the air quality modeling to avoid this thing, like we switch from diesel vehicles to the gas CNG, then from CNG to electrical vehicle. So we can do like this by technically, and we can reduce the things. Then technical drawings. To execute all above projects like residential, commercial development, road, transports, water supply, drainage, electric line, airport, railways, means every physical development of the city or the town, we must require the technical drawings. So we can command the things. Means each and everything needs technical drawing for independent and execution the things. Now, so this was the urban planning device. I repeat only the headings. The first one was the population and demographic projection. The second was the forecasting and analyzing the future needs. Then third was the noise modeling, and the fourth was the air quality modeling, and the fifth it was the technical drawing. Now we are already late, so I am doing little fast in this class because of my absence. So this ends your unit 1. Module 1 is finished. Now you are going to start the second module. Pradeep Verma, are you there? And Then okay, you have the then the Nikhil is there.
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. Then okay. So now the second module is the urban planning in India. Urban planning in India. I think in the test I will give the question from the 2 units. So now the first of this is the urbanization. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by the urbanization? Urbanization. Yes. Anyway, you start writing, then I will explain the things. It is the process by which large number of people. It is the process by which large number of people become permanently concentrated in the relatively small areas forming cities. Full stop. It is the process by which large number of people become permanently concentrated in the relatively small areas forming cities. I will need the hard copy of my lectures. You submit as a submission. So your numbers will depend upon the sessional will depend upon that submission of the hard copy of my lectures. It also refers to the process in which everybody is comfortable in writing the things. Now I am giving a little slow, so you can write. So it also refers to the process in which rural population moves to the urban areas. Urbanization is closely linked to the modernization, industrialization, sociological process. As you are saying that most of the students come from the rural area because they do not have the facility of this technical college or something in your village or something small towns. So this is the process, because previously when we design the city like Indore or anything, we do not think about the outer population of the so much population. Means it is about 25% of the, because we developed the things according to the population of the city only. But nowadays due to the urbanization, the people are coming from the rural or town area for the education, for the service, for the business, for anything. They come to the big city and they settle there only temporary. So it creates the very difficult to the facilities of the, like the drainage problem, like your housing problem, transportation problem, because we do not thought of the outer people will come like this. They plan the city while looking to the city population, how it will increase in the city. But this outer population is creating the difficult. Nowadays we are taking in the account for this. So this is called the urbanization. When people come from one place to they come for the education, then they give the competitive exam, they still there. After their education, they repeat the things, competitive exam, they got the jobs, then still they are there. Somebody wants to do the business. So number of peoples are extra in the increasing the load. Yes. Now, Indian urbanization. The next point is the Indian urbanization. Presently, urbanization is taking place as fastest growing rate in India. Presently, urbanization is taking place as fastest growing rate in the India. Only 1/3 of its population lives in the urban areas. Only 1/3 of its population live in the urban area, as to the census of 2011. Janganna census means 2011 census. It was 1/3 of the.
Indian urbanization को repeat कर दीजिए. Sir? Hello?
Yes.
Sir, repeat कर दीजिए Indian urbanization. Repeat कर दीजिए.
Repeat करूं. Presently, urbanization is taking place as fastest growing rate in the India. According to the census of 2011, only 1/3 of its population, only 1/3 of the population of the India lives in the urban areas. Means शहरों में 1/3 population रहती थी in the 2011. And there were 53 cities in India. 53 cities in the India with a population of 10 lakhs and more. 10 lakhs and more by 2031. By 2031, the number will rise to the 87. Instead of 53, it was 53. It increases to rise to the 87. Urbanization in India began to accelerate after independence in India. Urbanization in India began to accelerate after independence of the India. Due to country's adoption of a mixed economy, which gave rise to the development of the private sector. Change the paragraph. There are several factors lead urbanization in India. In which population growth and migration are two major factors. Do you understand the meaning? Migration, shift from one place to another, it is called the migration. So, as you discussed in the last urbanization definition. So, in which population growth and immigrations are the two major factors. Migration. So, recently a third factor has been seen as a huge contribution to the urbanization. Recently, a third factor has been seen as a huge contribution to the urbanization growth, and this factor is high in the economic growth. We are growing, our economic growth of the India is very much in last 10-20 years. So, because the government has decided to give the opportunity, and projects to further thrust the country into urbanization. To further thrust the country into urbanization. A number of smart cities to be put up in various locations. A number of smart, as Indore is also one of the comes under the smart city project. There is a project in the Indore is a smart city project. We will discuss the what about the smart cities calls will in the next then. So number of smart cities to be put up in the various location. Currently there are 9 major cities in India. Currently there are 9. Previously there was a 4: Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai and Kolkata. It was the 4 cities in the previous days, some year back. Now they are the 9 cities. You can, some of them are the near Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata are there, and now the Bangalore, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Surat and Pune. They are addition. Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Surat and Pune, they are added to the now smart city. The population residing in the urban area in India as per the census, you write down the year, then the percentage, then next line again the year, then the percentage. So first is in 1991 census, it was 11.4%. 11.4%. In the census 2001, it increases to 28.3%. Previously 91 it was 11.4, but in 2001 it was 28.3. In the 2017 it is 34%. It was 34%, and it is forecasted in the 2030 coming 2030 census it becomes the 40.76% of the country population is expected to resides in the urban areas. Means they are leaving the towns, they are leaving the villages, they are leaving the agriculture, and everybody tries to come to the big city. The cities are attracting everybody to come here. Once they come, they don't want to return their original place. As per the World Bank, India along with the China, as per the World Bank, India and along with China, Indonesia, United States will lead to the world urban population by 2050. By 2050, along with the India, China, Indonesia, United States will lead to the world urban population. Means urban population in this country will lead on the top by the 2050. Change the paragraph. Mumbai saw a large scale rural urban migration in 20th century. Mumbai saw a large scale rural urban migration in 20th century. In Mumbai in 2018, it accommodated 22.1 million people. In 2018, the Mumbai accommodates the 22.1 million people and was the largest metropolis by the population in India. It was the largest metropolis by the population in India, followed by the Delhi. The Delhi was the first. It was 28 million inhabitants in the Delhi. 28 million was in the Delhi. The fastest rate of urbanization in world increased by 4.1%. The fastest rate of urbanization is increased by 4.1%. Now this complete the Indian urbanization. Now you come to the global urbanization. What do you mean global and India? In the India we shift from itself in the our country only, from one place to another place, from village to town. First we want to we study in the up to the primary in our village, then shift or maybe middle, then from higher secondary further we go nearby town, then after higher secondary for the college we again shift to the little big town, then for the technical education and other things we shift to the big cities like Indore or Bhopal, like this. Now similar to the urbanization in the country, it is also in the global. So global urbanization, you can write urbanization result in the global urbanization. We are discussing the point global urbanization. Urbanization result in physical growth of urban areas. Urbanization results in the physical growth of urbanized area in horizontal and vertical manner. Horizontal and vertical manner. United Nations projected that half of the world population lives in the urban area by 2050. By 2050, with the predicted that 64.1% to 85.9%, 64.1% to 85.9% of the population will live of the developing and developed world respectively will be urbanized. Means 64.1 to 85.9 these developing and developed world respectively will be urbanized. So much of the percentage will urbanize in the 2050. Means it is very bad situation. The towns will be finished. Day by day they are finishing because we are going horizontally nowadays. Previously it was we going to the Mahu or going to the Ujjain or going to the Devas, there were in between the forest or some bare lands or something farming land. But nowadays if you travel from nearby city, you will see that there is these all connected. It becomes the part of the Indore, the Mahu, the Ujjain, the Devas, all the nearby towns become the part of the Indore only. So day by day the villages and these things are going to vanishes. It is closely linked to the modernization, industrialization and socio-logical process of the rationalization. It is closely linked to the modernization, industrialization and socio-logical process of rationalization. It can represent a level of urban development relative to the overall population. It can represent a level of urban development relative to the overall population, or it can be represent the rate at which urban proportion is increasing. Urban proportion is increasing. Population is increasing, but at the same time the urban population is increasing with the more rate. If we take the something, assume that the population is increasing by 4% of our country, but the urban population is increased by the 8%. It is like this. So the next para is, it is not a modern phenomena but historical transformation of the human social roots. It is not a modern phenomenon, though the rate is increasing, but it was also in the history, it present in the history. It is not a modern phenomena but historic transformation of the human social roots on a global scale, where rural culture is rapidly replaced by the urban culture, where rural culture is replaced by the, now in the due to the TV and the mobile, you can see in the villages you will get the people are living in a with a good fashion and good clothes. They are using the modern things, they are using the mobile, they are using the TV. All these things are shifted to the means town, small town also. So it is rapidly replaced by the urban culture, village to the village culture. Is characterized by the common bloodlines. It characterized by the common bloodlines, intimate familiar relation and communal behavior. Okay, where urban culture is characterized by the distance bloodlines, unfamiliar relation and competitive behavior. In the town, the people are knowing each other. If there is a function, if there is a problem, one will rush to the another in his problem. But in the city, they are cutting each other. Nobody interested who is living in the nearby flat or nearby. If somebody has the problem, we are reading the news in the newspaper generally, somebody is looted or somebody is murdered, but nobody is interested to look into the his own. So this was in the means town, but in the urbanization these things are going on. Due to the urbanization, people are becoming reluctant to each other. They don't want, they are busy in their self only. Now mainly the global urbanization means lots of people of our one country going to shifted to the another country. They are migrated from one country to, as we see, there are so many Indians in, if you any country you take the example, UAE means UAE or America or UK, there are so many Indians are there, and our so many other country peoples are in our country. So this is called, from one country to another country shifting is the called the global urbanization. It is because also because of the education, we are going for the study, then they settle there, they got the job, for the jobs, for the business. So they are from also not only from small town to the big city in the one country only, but they are shifted from one country to another country. That is called the global urbanization. They migrate for the business, jobs, educations. The Indian people can found in the nearly every country. This is called the global urbanization. So urbanization, then Indian urbanization, then global urbanization. You might understood the things. Who other join? You कौन आया ये? Anybody? Now, yes. Okay.
मेरे ख्याल से सारा मिसप्रिंट किया होगा मैम.
हाँ. कोई बात नहीं. The subject is easy. The another was the in the structure it is difficult in this case, but now you start regular attending. So we are just started the second module only in this lecture. So this is to take the notes from your colleagues. Now history and evolution of the urban planning. History and evolution of the urban planning. Okay. urban planning emerged as a socially discipline in the 1990s. Urban planning comes into picture in 1990. There is a some in the if you go to the net, you will find there is a department of the urban planning in the Indore and like this. So it comes existence in the 1919. There is a area of the every city for the future 10-15 years they make the guided the some technical maps which guided the for the urbanization. So, the
Sir,
yes.
सर एक्चुअली आपने जो असाइनमेंट्स दिए थे उसे एक से सबमिट करना है मैंने कमेंट्स रिपोर्ट किए हैं
Pardon, you repeat. Hello.
असाइनमेंट
हाँ, assignment
असाइनमेंट किसको कंप्लीट करना है
submit either I am available in 10 to 12 in the college, room number 209. So anytime. Acha, online. You can also submit the. But finally, I will need the hard copy at the time of the exam. Okay.
सर नोट्स आपने मुझे दिया है
नोट्स मैंने दिए नहीं है. एक यूनिट डाला होगा मेरे ख्याल से शायद, है ना.
तो नहीं मिला है
Okay, we'll see. We'll talk in the after the class. Okay, you give me a ring. So in the Great Britain, the first academic planning program began. In the Great Britain, the first academic planning program began in the University of the Liverpool in 1909. In the Great Britain, the first academic planning program begins in the University of the Liverpool in 1909, and the first North American program was established at Howard's University. You heard the name Howard's in 1924. The Howard's University in 1924. Change the paragraph. The origin of the urban planning in India can be traced. The origin of the urban, because our old people was very wise. We'll give the example of their planning in the history also. It is available. Though on the paper we are talking about this subject nowadays, but our old people were very wise persons. So the original of the urban planning in India can be traced to the planned towns of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Can you imagine? It was a very ancient time. So Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, they are the planned city at that time. So the origin of the urban planning in India can be traced to the planned towns of the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa belonging to the Indus Valley civilization. Belonging to the Indus Valley हिंदू सभ्यता, क्या आपकी हिंदू घाटी, Indus Valley civilization as early was 2500 BC. 2500 BC means before Christ. 2500 BC. Cities and towns were also built around forts and center of the trade. Cities and towns were also built around forts and center of the trade. And various period in the history of the India, in the various time to time in the history of the India. Most of the early civilization have spring on the leg of the some navigation service. Bank of the civilization have spring on the bank of the some navigable rivers, because previously the water they try to make the homes near the water. So easy availability water is the second one, or I can say the first require, because you have the food, because without water you cannot do anything. From the morning to evening, if you see, you need the water is the basic. So they generally make the houses near the on the bank of the rivers, so water was available easily to them. River of the bank of the also, which provide security to the town. It provide the security to the towns, because one side they are protected by the rivers, nobody can come. Now the physical safety and communication links are the two prime factors. The physical safety and communication links means to communicate each other, to contact each other, and physical safety. There were the two things was in the history was the prime factors which lead to the development of the town, which leads to the development of the town. The earliest civilization were seen on the bank of the river like Nile, and in our Ganga, Sindhu, like this. These are the Nile is the in the foreign, and the Indian rivers were the Ganga and the Sindhu, like this. Now the first is the ancient period. In the history you can write the first point is the ancient period. So ancient period is considered to be the between 3000 to 5000 BC. The ancient period considered between 3000 to 5000 BC. In this period, so many towns were created. In this period, so many towns were created with some unique features. With some unique features. Development of the town taken place like, the examples means the development of the town taken place like Indus Valley civilization. The first is the Indus Valley civilization. The second is the Vedic towns, and the third is the Buddhist town. The third one is the Indus Valley, then Vedic, then Buddhist town is considered to be the ancient period of the. Now come to the Indus Valley civilization. They were perfect of the town planning system in the city at that time. The systematic construction of the residence means we are seeing the old monument of this Indus Valley, so we can conclude that they were developed systematic at that time. The systematic construction of the residential houses and public building, laying down of principal streets. The streets were also designed in proper way. We'll read in the next topic how it was developed. Sometimes the circle was there, and around the circle they make the streets. All the comes to the one circle, the main bazaar. And in the after the rectangular also they design. In the rectangular they give the main road and the side road like the colonies in these days. So they develop the things in this technical way at that time. That area can be compared with the modern day city planning. Means that area we can compare with our modern day city planning. Now the Vedic period, it is 4000 BC. In this period, area in Veds as well as the books were wrote. Vedas, there are 4 Vedas of the Hindus. Rigved, Samved, like this there are. So that time is known as the Vedic period development. In this period, Vedas as well as the books were wrote on the town planning. The Vishwa Karma Praksh, it was the state that first lay out the town and then plan the houses. It was written in the history, the Vishwa Karma Praksh. It stated that the first you lay out the town, but it is nowadays we say the slum area. What they did, they don't bother about the roads or the drainage or the same thing. They just construct the house in a bare land and they create the nuisance. So slum area nowadays they are developing. We are problem of slum area. We just they make the houses haphazardly here and there only without looking the planning the roads or something. But in the Vedic, it was they already told that you first plan the road and then you make the houses. Shilpa Shastra wrote by the at that time Shilpa Shastra wrote by the architect at that time and discussed study Shilpa Shastra on soil topography. Oh, wonderful. At that time the Shilpa Shastra discussed about the soil topography, climatography and various things like this. Like a swastik, Padmakar and so many means traditional things where have the importance of this thing. Nowadays we are science is discussing the tulsi plant in our house or our tilak we are in the Indian culture. It has or choti on the hair, our head. So these things are the means has the values. Now we are proving these things. Now the Buddhist period, it was up to 320 AD. Buddhist period, it was up to the 320 AD. During the period of Emperor Chandragupta Maurya, he developed the Buddhist period. He was the main and Chanakya was the chief minister at that time. The Chanakya was the and Kautilya and Chanakya was the chief minister. Kautilya at that time, Kautilya and Chanakya, they are very learned. We can read the books on the Chanakya or Chandragupta Maurya or Kautilya and we can learn Chanakya Niti, which can still working. Chanakya Niti we can work in the still it is working. So means Chanakya was the chief minister who wrote the famous Arthashastra. Arthashastra was written by the Chanakya. In the previous books, in the town planning, they guided about the various features like regulation of the zoning, highways, parallel to main and cardinal direction. Parallel to main and cardinal direction. I discuss you in they develop the one center circle and they at the radius of the sun. Like the sun or thing, the radius they develop the roads. So all comes to the center portion, which was the CBD, means business, central business portion. There are the some theories will in the next chapter, then we'll discuss the about those theories. Then the Maldive period. Numerous towns were developed with the fortification, mainly influenced by the Buddhist style. After the Buddhists influenced the thing in this period, and they developed by influence of the Buddhist style architecture. They saw there are so many Buddhist temple in the Leh Ladakh or area, so you will see the wonder. It was designed very nicely. The excavation carries out at a particular shows the evidence of the advanced knowledge of the planning. The advanced knowledge of the planning we can see. Archaeological, they are when digging the things, they are the water system, and in the Udaipur or something, I think it is in the Jaipur or Udaipur, it is the gravitational water system. It was designed at that time. In the Baranpur also, I think, if you somebody have a chance to go to Baranpur, you can see that wonderful water supply system at that time, due to with the gravitational action, because no electricity was ample electricity was there, and they depends on the gravitational only. So they designed the water supply system by the gravity in the at that time. So we can see the things and study the things nowadays also. Now the Mughal period. After that the Mughal period comes. Mughal period town where the town used to have its first nucleus after as a foretaste of walled property of a landlord, its internal roads being controlled to the connect the market places. First the Mughal, they control the roads to connect the market places, living directly before the gate of the castle or a place of worship. They put the gate. They started, the Mughal Empire started to put the gates, so nobody can enter without their permission. So this was the new thing at the time of the Mughal. They for the safety or the anything, they designed the gates. Then the next is the British colonial period. By the time of the British settled and colonized the most of the India in later half of the century. When British come to rules in the India, at that time they developed, the development took place was called the British colonial period. So by that time the British settled and colonized the most of the India in later half of the century of 19th century. Industrial revolution and changes in transportation dictated town planning in India. They did the development according to the means town, looking in the mind the town planning. They were, because British are going always, they are going in the 50 years ahead of our Indians. So at that time they develop very proper the railways, the housing property, the roads. They make their going the trains to the hill station like Shimla and those. It was very difficult. Nowadays we are converting our this meter gauge to the broad gauge. We are facing the problem from going to the Khandwa. From Indore to Khandwa it is difficult, because it is we are on the top. and Khandwa is on the lower level. So at that time they designed the meter gauge. That at that time I think the machinery and all this thing was very limited. Now we have the very much advanced sources. Still we are facing the problem to convert their meter gauge into the broad gauge. So now after that British, we got the independence, and the development, the area comes to the post independence period. Post independence means the development after the independence of the India. In this time new towns were constructed. Most famously the first planned city in the India. Can anybody tell me the first planned city of the India?
Nagpur plan.
No.
IES plan.
No. First planned city was the India.
Bombay.
It was the Chandigarh. Chandigarh was the first planned city of the India. You go there and you see its development. It is very planned. The similar houses, the same roads, it is very planned. So you can go and study the Chandigarh. But also after that the Bhubaneswar and Gandhinagar were meant to the developed by this spirit of the new country, means nowadays. And after the Modi ji, after 2014, the India is developing like anything in the modern and the Vande Bharat, like we are taking, and so many things like which we cannot imagine in the India. Have you seen the Vande Bharat? Have you traveled? The government also accommodates hundreds of and thousands of the migrants from partition by the building houses in the cities. You know, after independence, so many migrated peoples come from the Pakistan. So it also they develop the houses for those people also, and the refugees also, for the refugees towns, countries. Town planning is developed during this period where steel towns were developed at that after independence. That is the Durgapur in the West Bengal, Bhilai, they are making the steel, and then Raurkela in Orissa, Durgapur in the West Bengal, Bhilai in the Madhya Pradesh, it was in the Madhya Pradesh, or Raurkela in the Orissa. Then industrial town were developed at that time after the independence, Jamshedpur in the Bihar, and the Chittaranjan in the West Bengal, and Bhadravati in the Karnataka. Then the capital Gandhinagar and Chandigarh were developed like anything. Nowadays, after 1991, there are at least 100 development authorities in India. Over the 1000 cities had created. Over the 1000, there are 100 development authorities. There are so many, means you count the department, the bridge development, the road development, the housing department, like this. There are so many departments to control the development nowadays. And there are 1000 cities had to create the master plan. They create the master plan. Like in the Indore, if you go to the master plan, you will see this is the industrial area, this is the green belt area. In the green belt, you cannot construct the houses. This is the forest area. Like Rala Mandal, you never construct the anything, or you can do anything in the forest area, because it requires, it is the requirement of the city looking to the population. If you cut all the trees for all the jungles, it will make the difficult. So they mention that this is the agriculture area, you cannot do anything, you cannot plan the colonies, you have to take the permission of town planning if you want to do something. On the bypass, 75 meter here and 75 there from the center, it is a green belt, you cannot do any construction on that area, because due to the vehicles the pollution is there, and you want the green belt, so manage that. Then the time is over, I think. It is enough. The half the unit is over. Or should I continue if anybody is interested, or we'll take in the next class? Okay? Huh? All are attending or not? Huh? Oh, you are there, Shruti. Then Mayur? Okay, then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So many are there. Oh, okay, okay. क्लास है क्या आपके? Oh my God. Okay. बंद कर दें बंद अभी. Okay. So will नहीं अब फिर कर देते हैं बंद. नहीं CPM में. हाँ CPM की चल रही है. हाँ CPM का चल रहा है. CPM का चल रहा है. Just a minute, हाँ. क्या बात.
नहीं सर
पिछली क्लास में अटेंड की थी.
हाँ पिछली की थी. करेक्ट.
और सर
बढ़िया. क्या बात.
गूगल का स्ट्रक्चर का है इसलिए
नहीं,
हम
नहीं तो लिंक तो आ जाती है सर.
लिंक में आई थी ना, तो सीपीएम में आई शायद.
CPM में है. CPM में
स्ट्रक्चर का हम
स्ट्रक्चर वाले में
नहीं.
Recording
तो
stop.
फिर हम उधर ही कर लेते हैं सर.
अभी आता हूँ मैं आता.
हाँ सर आप उधर केबिन में आ जाइए.
हाँ
तो
बस
सर थोड़ा डिस्कस कर लीजिएगा.
आता हूँ 15 मिनट में आता हूँ.
ओके सर. थैंक यू.
ओके. क्या बंद कर दिया?
नहीं चालू है.
चालू है.
Recording in progress.
सर जी सर आज ऑफलाइन आ गए थे. पढ़ना जा रहे थे. वो भी सीनियर है पर. सीनियर है. अरे बता रहे.
Now, should I continue? I am asking students, should I continue for 15 minutes more?
Yes sir.
Okay. Anybody else? What about all others? Should I continue for 15 minutes more?
Yes, sir.
Okay, second one. So let me continue for the 15 more minutes. Huh? Now come to the main challenges in the urban planning in India. There are so many challenges. It is not easy to develop the city or according as per the planning. There are so many challenges to develop the things. So we can discuss these things in this pen. Main challenges in the urban planning in India. The first one is the disorganized expansion of the city. Disorganized expansion of the city. Just we see, if you travel through a bus along the any small town, you see there is a atta chakkis, there is a restaurant, there is a marriage garden, there is a residential area, that they all connected and everybody wants to come on the road, main road. So it developed like a ribbon. Ribbon, you know the ribbon? So the development is like the ribbon. All the things is hodgepodge. And previously it was there. The marriage garden near the school was there. Marriage garden was near to the residential area. It creates the nuisance to the public. If the resident is living there, he is unable to sleep because the dol dhamaka of the marriage is used to on the after a few days. So it requires to develop the things properly, because people in the India they don't want to follow the rules. So disorganized expansion of the city is the one of the challenge of the urban town planning. So expansion of the city population and geographical areas of the rapidly growing city, you can write expansion of the city population and geographical area of rapidly growing cities is the root cause of the urban expansion. What is the cause? Expansion of the city population. Expansion of the city population. The population is the one of the challenge of the India, country India. So population and geographical area of the rapid growing city are the root cause of the urban expansion of the most. The most cities' economical base is incapable of dealing with the problems created by their excessive size and massive immigration. Just I told you, the most of the city there is a financial problem also, because the city, the immigrant come, it was the one bungalow previously and the resident was the his family, 4 or 5 people were lived in a family. Now they, due to the growth of the city, they construct the multi-story on the same bungalow. So there are the 10-20 flats. So instead of the one family, the living persons are 10 times. But the facilities, the pipelines for the water supply, for the drainage and for the electric line, it was from the taking in the account the old one. So increasing population and development is the most of the city, is the most challenging of the proper planning of the city and development of the city. Because the people are coming from the outside, they want the things on the rental basis. So the house owner attract to give the rent. Also they increase the cost of the area. He want to open the shop in the ground floor, create, then construct the hostels like this. So number of residents going on increasing, like in the Indrapuri nearby colony of our education belt, the Indrapuri and Vishnupuri, there are so many hostels are there in the Indrapuri colony. So it is difficult to give them the water supply, electricity and drainage, because it was the planned as for the few bungalows, and now they are 10-20 times increase. So it is one of the expansion of the population is the and disorganized development is the one of the challenge of for the development of the city. The greatest pressure is at the center part of the city, where immigrants stay with their relatives before searching the separate house, because somebody comes first from the initially he stay with his relative because he want to don't know about the city, so he want to live with the So many people are living with their relatives, and they increase the problem of this supply, transportation. Even for the transportation, it is becoming less and less. They need the transportation, they need the water supply, they need the drainage supply, they need the every facility they need one, but it was not planned according to the migrant. History shows that suburbs have growth first along with the major road. As I told you, if you travel to a bus, you will say it increasing the along the road. Everybody wants his shop or his residence near by the road. So major roads leading into the town, like ribbon settlement. It was like the ribbon settlement. In this way, towns are growing. So the nearby town is close because they are growing along the road. So nearby town is coming, they are connected, like the Mahu, Ujjain, Devas, they are connected with the, if you travel from Indore to Mahu, you travel from Indore to Devas, you will see that there is so many constructs, so many restaurants, so many things are developed, so many malls along the road. So the nearby town is so close together as almost continuous urban belt, but this is all taking place at the cost of valuable agriculture land, because we are sacrificing for this the valuable agriculture land, we are sacrificing for this development. So we should stop somewhere for doing these things. Now overcrowding. In this situation in which too many people live into the too little space, as we discussed, due to the urbanization, the 25% people from the outside, they come in the city. So it is overcrowding the things. Every area is overcrowding for the transportation, for the every facility, as we are discussing the same thing. So overcrowding is one of the reason. It is a situation in which too many people live in the little space. In the Mumbai, 1/6 of the acre open space per 1,000 people. It requires 1/6 of the acre open space per 1,000 people is there, while it should be 4 acre per 1,000 people. It requires 4 acres for 1,000 people. The open space required is the 4 acre, but it is available is the 1/6 of the acre. Can you imagine? 1/6 and 4 means 24 times town crowding is there. 24 times we require the 4 acre per 1,000, and it is available is the 1/6 of the acre for the 1,000. Similarly, in the Delhi, as the population density of the 9340 person per square kilometer. 9340 persons, which is highly dense per square kilometer. This leads to the tremendous pressure on the various facilities of the town, as we again and again discussing this, creating the pressure on the other facilities. Then the housing, due to the overcrowding, housing is also one of the challenge, because the sufficient houses are not available. Due to the overcrowding, it leads to the housing problem. There is a housing problem in the big city, leads to the housing problem, that is shortage of the houses in urban areas where there is a large unemployed immigrant from the surrounding area have no place to live. There are so many unemployed, then so many students from the nearby area, and they don't have the proper housing facility available for them. Also, current rate of housing construction is very slow, because it requires the more finance. It is very costly. The land is costly, the construction is costly. The small plot of the 1,000 square feet is in the proper connected colonies about 50 lakhs. 20 by 50 size plot in Indore, if you want to purchase, it is 50 lakhs. So how can an unemployed or a newly employed person can purchase the so definitely there is a shortage of the housing. The construction is very slow, which make the problem further complicated. Indian city require actually about 2.5 million new housing unit, but only 15% of these being constructed. It required 2.5 billion new housing, but the construction rate we can construct only 15% of this requirement. So you can imagine, if we are constructing only 15%, so how it will affect the development. The factor responsible for the shortage of the housing units are high value of the land. I gave the example, the 1000 square 20 by 50 plot is 50 lakhs. So factor responsible for the shortage of the housing units are the high value of the land and also the high cost of the building material, and also the financial resources. Also there are very limited financial resources, and also one of the factor is the inadequate expansion of the public utilities. As the population going on increasing, we need the more schools, the more transportation, the more hospitals, the more thana, the more water tanks, the more water lines. So it is the public things. So inadequate of the expansion of the public facilities also are very less. So because of it is one of the challenge to increase this public facility, because it requires the funds. It is not easy. One colony is developed and you put the Narmada line there, or you create a new electricity station there to supply the electric line or water supply. So this is the public means utility also is, public facilities are also one of the challenge for the government, because we are going to settle here and there, but the government should look after the otherwise the public make the shouted, we are not getting the water, we are not getting the buses, city buses are not there, we are not getting the electricity, like this. The next point is the unemployment. Unemployment is also one of the factor affecting the urbanization, development of the country. 50% of the all educated urban unemployed are concentrated in few major cities. 50% unemployed, because after they take the education, they don't want to go back and they want to settle in the, because there are more chances of getting the employment in the big city. So 50% of the all educated were unemployed were concentrated in the few major cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, and you can say the Indore also, and so many. Nowadays it is so many. Previously it was the 4-5 cities. Nowadays there are the so many. At a glance, urban income is higher. At a glance, urban income is higher, as the salary of a person in the Ujjain is 10,000, but he get the offer of the 20,000 or 15,000 in Indore. So at random it means at initial glance it seems very high, with 10,000 to 15,000, but as he shifted to Indore, he realized that the living cost of in the Indore as compared to Ujjain is very, very high. So it is only a means at a glance urban income is higher as compared to the rural, but due to the higher living standard it is actually low. if somebody is getting 20,000 in the Indore and he offered 35,000 in the Mumbai, it is difficult him to stay in the Mumbai for the even he see the figure 35,000 and here it is 25,000. So it is difficult to live in the cities with the this higher, it is higher living cost is very high in the big cities. In the Bangalore, the rent of the flat is about 70,000 to 1 lakh. It is in the Bangalore. It is one of the example. So how can one can live, survive in the Bangalore or Sing? Due to the limited capacity of the urban area, it could not create enough employment opportunity and absorb the rapid growth of the urban labor forces, because there is some limit of the Indore. So everybody wants, you go to Indore you will get the job, but there is a limit of the Indore. You go to Mumbai you will get the job, but there is a limit. Everything has its on limit. If the limit is excess, then how can accommodate the outer means excess person, how can you accommodate the things? So unemployment is also one of the challenge for the development of our city. Then the slum and illegal colonies, slums and illegal colonies. As we saw, they don't have the money to purchase the home and they are coming in number of so many laborers are coming from the town. So they develop the slums and illegal colonies. The unchecked and unplanned and haphazard growth of the urban area in case of the growth and spread of slums. The unchecked, there is no checking. Anybody can come from the town and settle in the side. The unplanned, there is no planning. You should not live here, you should live there. So unchecked, unplanned and haphazard growth. Haphazard growth means you can make the house, somebody come from that side, he build the houses in the jungle, and then gradually we will see that the whole town is, Basti is developed there, where there is no facility of the electricity or no facility of the drainage. They just open their drainage on the open drains, and which create the slums and the illness, cause of the illness. So the unchecked, unplanned and haphazard growth of the urban area is cause of the growth and spread of the slum, which in turn disturb the ecological structure of the Indian city, which disturb the ecological system of our city. The rapid urbanization in conjunction with the industrialization also has resulted in the growth of slums, because somebody take the one big industry, the people are required to work in that industry, but they don't have the residential facility or other facilities. So it is, industrialization is also one of the cause of the developing the slums and the illegal colonies. And the cause of the slum growth are the shortage of the, because of the shortage of the developed land. We cannot, government is not able to give them the developed land. You are working in this industry, the government unable to give some land where the electric, drainage or water supply facilities available or housing facilities available. We are unable to, government is not able to give for such a huge person. Now the same thing is the sewage problem. Sewage problem is one of the very nuisance for the city. Most of the city do not have proper arrangement for the sewerage disposal. As in Indore, we are having the waste solid disposal and the means degradable disposal of the things, but in the most of the city they don't have proper arrangement for the sewage disposal, which are available but not sufficient. Sometimes it is available which are not sufficient. In Indore also we visited the plant. It is 5,000 500 tons kachra daily, and they are doing on the full capacity, but this figure 500 tons day by day will go to the 600, 700. Then what will happen? Because the capacity of that plant is only 500 tons. So we should reduce the things, we should reduce the kachra, we can reduce the disposable thing, we should aware of the thing, so we can limit the things, and so we can control. Otherwise it is difficult for the government or anybody to control these things. So most of us do not have proper arrangement of the sewage disposal, which are available but not sufficient, and which are available are not sufficient as well, sufficient and efficient, both the problem. Also one of the reason of the same is unauthorized growth of the city. Most of the city have old sewage lines which is breakdown, they are overflowing, they are breakdown. As I told you, instead of one bungalow there is a multi, instead of one family, this is the example of one plot. You can think of the one colony, how many? The one family, instead of 5 person, there are 10 flats, there are 10 families are living. So the pipelines are overflowing and breakdown due to the pressure, more pressure. Also most of the city not have sewage treatment plant. It is also drained into the nearby river. Oh, this is the example of the we are looking for the Khan river in the Indore. We are doing to develop that, clean the river since 10 years. Crore rupees were spent, but it is unable to make it clean because everybody is going to dispose the things in the river. Like in the Kanpur, the Ganga is also Yamuna. In the Agra, it is the Yamuna. The same situation in all over the India. We are disposing the things in the rivers. Also due to the close proximity of the water and sewer lines. Also the drainage and water lines, sometimes we see in the tape the water is coming is polluted because the water line and the sewer lines is nearby. If one is burst and another is also burst, so they mix the things in each other. So in the drinking water we are getting the contaminated water in the drinking water tap. Contamination problem is there, which cause the diseases. The last 2-3 points are there. We'll discuss in short early. So disposal of the solid waste. The same thing. Disposal of the solid waste. Solid waste or this. Now drinking water. In the olden times, villages were developed nearby the water ponds or river during the old time, and water supply is done in urban area by the water supply done in the urban area by the water supply line. But during the time, the spent supply of the water started falling short due to the growing of the city, because the tape connection was for the one family and 10 families. How can it survive for the 10 family? So drinking water problem is one of the most challenging problem for the growing of the cities. Then transport, the same thing with the transport, because the peoples are going on increasing. We are increasing the buses, we are increasing the trains, we are increasing the airplanes. Still all the things are going full. If you want to take the reservation in the train, or you want to see the local trains of the Mumbai or metros, we are going on increasing the facility, but still everything is going full. So transportation is also one of the challenging problem for so one should taking his home, one should prefer to live near his working place. So to daily up and down communicate is easy. And the pollution, the last is the pollution. Due to the rapid speed of urbanization, industrialization, transportation, and concrete jungles growth, out of proportion, and also the horizontal spread of the city result in cutting of the trees. The pollution is increased due to the rapid speed of urbanization, industrialization, transportation. It create, everything is creating the pollution. Concrete jungles growth out of the proportion. Also horizontal spread of city result in the cutting of the trees, because sometimes we have the challenge, we cannot go the vertical because the fire safety we don't have. For up to a limit we have the fire safety up to a certain limit of the floor. After that we don't have the fire safety, so we have to bound to grow the horizontal only, we cannot grow the vertical. But the vertical development is always good for the everybody, for the city, because more person are living in the vertically, the cutting of the trees and the use of the land is limited. So always the vertical development is preferable instead of the horizontal. So these developments are primarily responsible for the pollutions. So NCU, we make the National Commission of the Urbanization has policy proposal in 1988. NCU, National Commission of Urbanization, they proposed optimum distribution of the population by rural and urban area. Optimum distribution of the population between rural and urban area means Manarega something is there, which they are creating the jobs in the town, so they are stopping the people come to the city. They are constructing the road in the towns, small towns, they are constructing the dams, and they are they are taking the other yojnas, so people are prevented to come to the urban area. This is NCU is look after the things. Provision of minimum level of services in urban and rural area, and there are other government programs are also there to stop the urbanization. UBSB, urban basic services for the poor. UBSB is the urban basic services for the poor. IDSMT, integrated development of small medium town. Integrated development of the small medium town. And HUDCO, you must have name of the HUDCO, Housing and Urban Development Corporation. HUDCO is the Housing and Urban Development Corporation. And integrated urban poverty eradication program, education program, IUPEP. So thank you very much. You all are coming on my short notice because we are lagging. I was suffering from so I was on the leave. So we are lagging behind. Now we come to the level. So from the next class we'll do the in the proper way. Just today class it was very some fast. So I am sorry for that, and we'll meet in the next class. It is on the Wednesday only. I ask you to take the class on the Wednesday only. It is 9:45 at the Wednesday. So good day to everybody. So we'll meet and you prepare for the test. It is first test is due after the Diwali. So two units. If anybody problem, you come personally and meet me. I will solve your problem. Anything about this subject. Okay. Yes, close.
Okay.